So we're back with some more Octopath Traveler 2. Last time we left off was to consider this area in the south Waterfall Pass here. Looks like we're working our way towards the thief, though I'm not exactly sure if that's necessarily where I want to go for the time being. But for right now, we're just following the South Waterfall Pass. Though I might turn around right before we get to the city, because I'm not sure if it'll necessarily lock me into going to the thief area or not. So that way it still gives me a little more room to roam around the area first before I make any decisions. I don't know if they're necessarily as final as that or not, but on the off chance that they are, that way it would at least avoid that. Quarry Crest is to our left. What does exactly that mean for us? I don't know. But that's also away from danger level 17. When I'm level 6? Wait a minute. That sounds like a not great idea for me. Okay, so we do know, based off the last video, these guys are indeed weak to axe attacks. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like hitting a vulnerable position feels like I should be able to, like, take another oh, did I not heal myself from last time? Well, that's a little awkward.
That'll do her.
Probably should have done that. Oops. I guess saving in this game also doesn't heal you full, fair enough. Though I don't think it did in Bravely Default either, so that would make sense. Follow that level of consistency anyways. Last Stand honestly wouldn't be the worst for things like this. It does cost 16 SP, which is a lot. And considering our HP isn't all that low, it probably wouldn't do that much damage. But I'm pretty sure it said that it attacks everyone, at least all the enemies on the field, which would then allow me to break multiple people at the same time, as opposed to me having to break them one on top here. Which would probably make these fights go over a little bit easier, but I'm still on the train of porting up job points for the time being.
Here goes nothing.
Maybe that's not the play, but I'm doing it for right now, at the very least. Go on.
Bring it on.
Alright, break him. That allows us to get the third tier boost for the turn where defense is down, go on. Not just quite enough.
All right.
We should be able to finish him this time. Gotcha.
Try again.
Items attainable, got nothing off of it, fair enough. I do have regular inventory I could be using, though I do kind of want to keep them on hand. Invigorating increases maximum SP, increases elemental defense. Okay, so it seems like nuts are just straight up stat boosters in these games. Now, people might be like, just throw them on my main character immediately, but maybe one of the other 8 characters will actually end up being someone that works out better for us, so I'm not going to use them just yet. I'm being very conservative right now with all my resources, and that might trigger some people as a result. But it's just the way that I'm going to play the game for the time being. I guess I could have gone to the right, but that'd probably lead me more so towards the town there. Don't think I can go up any farther from here. There's a giant chest up there, but I am unable to get up there from the looks of it. At least from passing that way. I started to run and then immediately got caught with an encounter here. I keep forgetting that I can't run without pulling absolutely everyone's in me.
How do you like this?
Maybe hyenas don't like fire? Who could have seen that one coming? And it does hit twice, so we can break them relatively easy. Go ahead and hit with the axe. They are weak to axe as well. Who would have thought chopping up hyenas would hurt quite a bit?
Here we go.
Okay, they only have one break, so we can go ahead and break you again. And then we go all in on him on this next turn.
Bring it up. Alrighty.
That still is not enough to kill. Man, these guys got some HP on them.
Bring it on.
It might have been worthwhile just to grab a heavier hitting physical item, just so that way I can get rid of these guys quicker. Go ahead and break him. We got triple boost this turn to do that extra damage. I mean, if we had something, what was it? Like the cleaver was like 8k or whatever, but if we got a full boost attack off of like that, maybe we kill him there, which would then save us HP, SP, and potential healing items for the future and whatnot, in which case that might be worthwhile to invest in, but for the time being, we're able to get away with it. And thanks to the way that the leveling system works so far, we'll get all our HP and SP back from that as a result. In which case, it'll be like that fight never happened, except we got the XP and the monies out of it, which is always nice. All of life, sure, why not? So while so far it doesn't seem like there's necessarily a set path,
Want a tangle, huh?
some parts are
All right.
more or less blocked off by levels. Like that quarry was level 17 that we had looked at last time when we were level 5 at the time. So yeah, that was not happening.
Here goes nothing.
Though I even see that, I still kind of wanted to look at it just to see just how difficult of a spike it would be at a level 5 versus 17.
Here we go.
So it seems like whirling attack with the ACs there is maybe like half damage, but it hits 5 times. Almost kind of like Astra from Fire Emblem, if you ever played that.
All right.
I'm using so many references of different games. People might just be like, what are you talking about? Or be like, bro, I know what you're talking about, sort of thing. So, you know, I'm just going about that.
All right.
Body armor? What?
Here goes nothing.
Okay, I used body armor, but I'm not exactly sure what that did for it.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Got some battle ward out of them that time. Actual item drop rates off the enemies don't seem the highest so far. But maybe with somebody like the Thief or something, it would increase as a result. Border Fall. Okay, so we're basically forced to go to the Boulder Fall if we go this way. I don't know if we go there necessarily just yet.
Want a tangle, huh?
What am I even looking at?
All right.
Hi. I'm not sure if I would say it looks like a metal slime, but it definitely looks like an enemy that I would want to deal with rather quickly if possible. Well, this is multiple potential here, so... Did not work, though we did poison it. Immediately flees. Okay, so yeah, it definitely is one of those, you gotta get rid of them quickly in order to benefit off of them. Though it is nice to see, that does mean that it should probably work, if not necessarily like a metal slime, but just another one of those sets of enemies where like, hey, kill them, get good items, forehead. So this would actually lead us to a different area than the Border Falls if we actually went, the Boulder Falls if we actually went up there.
You won't feel a thing. Here we go.
This bird is in for a world of hurt here, considering we have 2 things that he's vulnerable to.
Bring it on.
We'll go ahead and just do that, just a little bit extra damage. He will get 1 attack in, that's fine. Because now we break him this turn, then we go all in on him on the next turn. While his defense is down.
That's what I'm talking about.
At least with the enemies we fought so far, these birds seem to be relatively squish. At least by comparison to the other ones. Healing grape, sure, why not? Always take healing items. We have a decent amount of ways to heal ourselves. However, that doesn't mean that it won't stop us from doing other things. Okay, so this actually took us to the village here. And I don't think I want to go to the village just yet. I think I want to continue exploring. People might just be like, please go to the village, but like, man, I'm still out here exploring. We're going the whole gauntlet so far. Now I'm all... Okay, just stepping into the city does not heal me the full health. That's fine. Do I really care to heal myself right now? I guess I'll throw it down. Why not? We already saved, so that's fine.
Let's see what you got. Bring it on.
Eggs. We know how this goes. I feel like I need the obliterate skill from Bravely Default, where it's like if you're a level, I believe it was like 10 levels higher, you would just insta-kill encounters without actually encountering them. But you would still get money and items and whatnot from doing so. And people might be like, why want a skill like that already? And it's like, it's more or less just because of the fact that I'm fighting the same enemies over and over again, and I know how to deal with them, so having something like that doesn't feel that bad, because we already know how to deal with them. We've proven that we're able to deal with them consistently through various different means without real issue. So it's kind of like, why do I need to keep fighting these? It's called grinding. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. Have you ever got all max skills in Bravely Default on every single class when there's like 16, 20 of them or something like that? Yeah, that took a bit. Of course, there's ways of speeding that up for like metal enemies and whatnot. Still doesn't mean anything. I kind of want to hit up the city just for resources and whatnot, but also if that triggers us into doing something else, then maybe not the greatest ones. I think this actually leads us to the hunter lady, right? Is that the thing? Okay, I can go down this way, though the question now becomes, why would I want to? Path of the Beast, level 15. Alright, well, it's still a little too high for us. Although the quarry, for whatever reason, was higher.
Won't feel a thing.
Is that a straight up buff maps? Forest ratkin, huh? How do rats feel about fire?
How do you like this?
Apparently they don't care as much as I thought they would have. Alright then. Ow.
Alright.
Did that poison just hit him for 74 damage? Maybe poison is better than I thought it was, considering how tanky some of these guys end up being.
How do you like this?
How's Wind do? Still neutral. Alright, fair enough. What if we just take an axe to the rat? Who would have thought? Chopping down a rat would be the way to go. Nobody loves giving XP out here. At least the job point is relatively consistent, though not all that much. Give this to me. Herb of Light. Sure, why not?
Want a tangle, huh?
Yeah, moss-ridden pig.
Nothing.
Mossy meat. Yeah, okay. Well, if you have moss growing on you, surely fire, right?
How do you like this?
I'm fishing way too hard on fire, apparently. Alright, you know, physical seems to do relatively well against a majority of the enemies we run into. Yeah, there we go.
Bring it on.
And time to stun them out. This will give us enough time for a full boost.
Bring it on.
It feels like enemies in this game so far have a lot of weaknesses, though I guess it makes sense considering one of the major mechanics being to actually break people's defense and wail on them for better damage. And it's early into the game, so it would make more sense that more earlier enemies would have higher levels of weaknesses, just so that way you can deal with them easier. Do we throw down a heal here? I guess we do. We have the SP for it. Okay, apparently I cannot go any farther. No, I'm stuck on this part. Okay. I will say the environment in the game can be a little bit so samey that's kind of hard to get around. Oh, I actually surprised them for once. A harm. A harmon, not a harlot. Okay, well, our axe is minimal to it. How you feel about ice? Neutral as well. Okay. This could potentially be spooky by the fact that there's two of them here, though it doesn't seem like they hit all that hard at the moment. Alright, so ice was not it. We didn't try fire, did we?
How do you like this?
Oh, really? You're the one that's weak to fire? Well,
All right.
we could knock out the other one if we want to. Did the fire even do that much? I already forgot how
How do
much
you like
damage it
this?
did. At the very least, it's poison. It only does 2 damage, though it does break him, so there is that. The poison does far more. I mean, that just did 128 damage to him for existing. I could do level 4 fire. Oh no, it only works on the skills, that's right. Ice was at least neutral for most of it. Gone.
Here we go.
Now we can really just bully this guy with fire if we want to. We're gonna have to pick more of these injury
How do you
seeds
like
up.
this? Here goes nothing.
Thankfully, it seems like they put relatively good cost on the crafting items so far for the apothecary. Like nothing's
Try again.
so far too insanely expensive to where it's just hindering, if that makes sense. What do we got here? North Trail to the city, Victor's Hollow, Borderfall. Seems like the Hunter has maybe quite a few dungeons going on here. I mean, there was what? There was one called Path of the Beast, presumably that's a dungeon. Level 15 or 17, somewhere along those lines. I didn't say anything about anything on the right over here.
You won't feel a thing.
Okay, so we know
Bring it
Mouse
on.
Man is weak to axes, so we can go ahead and just play on his weakness here. We hit him decently strong.
Here goes nothing.
Even his strong shot there was pretty weak compared to a lot of the damage we end up taking.
Bring.
Alright,
Try
Rat
again.
Man pretty easy to take down. He kind of seems like the one I would want to fight in this area. It didn't say there was anything over there, but I had a feeling that because of that fact that there would be something there. Okay, so that's just the save right there.
Want a tangle, huh?
Oh, really, Pig?
All right.
Is this what you want to do right now?
Here we go. Here.
I wonder if enemies that have more block end up taking more damage in general for the fact that they have more block,
Bring
which
it on.
is why they have the extra block in the first place.
Here
It
goes
doesn't seem
nothing.
like that's the case, as of so far. Looks like they end up just
Try
taking the
again.
same amount of damage, they're just harder to kill as a result. We do hit level 8 off of that. I'm not entirely of a fan of how the picture transitions over, or like whenever you come out of a fight scene back to the map, it feels kind of weird. Maybe that's just me thing. It doesn't quite
Let's see what
feel
you
right.
got.
It's not necessarily bad, it just doesn't necessarily feel right. For
Bring
whatever
it
reason,
on.
these guys are really easy to catch off guard, at least compared to everything else.
How do you
This
like
has
this?
been the one that we've been able to catch off guard more often.
Here we go.
Alright, so we know the axe is neutral, but I also can't use boost on my fire concoct skill, in which case it would just go down to my elemental ice skill, which is still probably
Cool
worthwhile.
off.
I mean, that's 258 damage.
Here goes nothing.
Well, I thought I almost hit flee for a second. I was like, no, don't do
Here
that.
goes nothing.
Alright,
Cool
one more
off.
icicle should just drop him. There we go.
Try again.
We got 4 job experience points from him that time, despite the fact that there was only one of them, right? So is it RNG dependent? Is it set? Like, it's hard to tell. Woo! Level 21. Alright, well, seems like the Hunter has some pretty decently strong areas, at
You
least
won't
for
feel a thing.
the
All
section of the
right.
game that we're in here. Though considering we more or less
All
like
right.
skipped over 2 enemies, I guess I can't be too surprised by that fact. We hit this dude what feels like so hard, and yet he's
All
just
right.
so much of a beat shield.
Bring. Try again.
I definitely want to get those breaks when I can, because while it's only giving us +1, what was it, +1 experience, that's still a 33% gain in experience at this point. Okay, so if I go right, I am headed towards the hunter lady. Although it looks like I could potentially go up and around her in theory. Of course, we always could go back all the way around if we really wanted to the dancer. We were able to suppress the pig. Nice. Even with the surprise, he was still able to go next.
Alrighty.
Not that that's a huge issue for us.
Bring it on.
One more break this guy's done.
All right.
Body armor. Okay, so body armor, just let him go first, I guess, in the next turn. Like, it swapped the order, but I'm not sure what body armor actually did for him there. Or maybe, like, if we didn't break his armor that turn, he would have gained, like, an extra set of armor or something. Not entirely sure how that move works just yet. Alright, there's a chest. Presumably our thief could open some of the ones we weren't able to. Slippery nut. They knew what they were doing by putting nuts as stat boosters. I'm just saying.
You won't feel a thing. All right. Bring it on.
It still feels kind of strange for the apothecary to be using an axe. Though I guess
All right.
in that sense, he's using the axe to help him get materials and whatnot for the apothecary skills. Yeah, like, fair enough. It still feels like I should have a level of like harvesting to my main character here, if that makes sense. It seems like I should be able to roam around the area, or if there was like set areas, kind of like in Pokemon, how in the older ones you were able to plant berries and whatnot and come back to them later and pick them up and use them for materials and whatnot. It kind of feels like there should be somewhat of a similar system in that regard to this game.
You won't feel a thing.
At least so far as the apothecary is concerned, but maybe that's...
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Alright, we get 2 in a row because we surprised him, gets all the armor off, and we can just wail on him.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think we can get rid of him this turn because that's going to break, and then that'll give us
That's
extra
what I'm
damage
talking
there.
about.
People are like probably screaming at this point, just go to a new character's area, and you know what, at some point we will. Lamb's Graze, and then the actual city itself. Trail the Borderfall. We can always fast travel to older areas. That is something it said that we could do, so we don't actually have to walk back there. Which was something I was thinking I was going to have to do, and it was like, wait, that's not what we have to do.
Want a tangle, huh? Here goes nothing.
Go ahead and break him. You know the drill.
Break. Here we go.
Got you.
Try again.
It feels like we have quite a good amount of job points right now. Maybe when we hit level 10, it'll open up a new set of skills for us, and then we can make our move on what skills we want. Because presumably they'll be at least like a little bit of a higher tier than what we're working with right now.
You won't feel a thing. Here goes nothing.
The revival skill is definitely something I'm considering picking up, but considering we're still only a solo party at the moment, I'm not too concerned about doing this.
Alrighty.
This might just be a bad way of going about this, because maybe my character or my party members will not scale up their level to me when I do end up needing them. In which case, they might be like level 5 or something when I'm level 8.
That's what I'm talking
which
about.
is something to consider. Whether or not how true that actually is or not, we'll figure it out as soon as I actually end up picking up a second party member. But until that time being, we're just gonna keep rocking it as if we're solo for now.
You won't feel a thing.
Yes,
All right. Here goes
we haven't had the heal in forever. I do like the fact of it fully restoring our HP and SP. It just allows us to wander around a lot more without having to always go back to villages and whatnot. And I'm sure that'll actually help us in dungeons and whatnot, because then if we're in a dungeon, we can, in theory, strategically place our points when we level up, so that way, like, we can just flee when we need to, and then when we're actually ready for the level up, then we defeat the encounter, which then would heal our HP and SP, and then we could do that, like, right in front of a boss or something, and then run into it with full HP and SP, rather than potentially being, like, halfway beaten up before jumping into the boss fight. The wilds, okay, it does say it is level 1, so for the time being, we're free to go ahead and run around this area.
Here we go.
Presumably, as we pick up more party members, it'll start scaling up the areas due to the fact that we do have more party members.
Here we go.
So for the time now, it actually seems like this would be the time to walk around the continent while it's still lower level enemies. At least for what seems to be the majority of the main path that we've been walking on so far. I like the snowy area so far. It does make it really easy to see a chest standing out and whatnot. Northern Flames Grace Wilds to Flame Grace. And then the Hunter's Town back there. Alright, we'll explore for like a couple more minutes. The grotto is level 25, and I tried to run.
Bring it on.
Ice Lizard Man, huh? Surely.
How do you like this?
Fire's one of money, one of many. I did not actually get the poison on him there, and I just ran out of injury seeds. Well, I have one more. I don't have to necessarily use it here. Try the axe on him, and it does, in fact, count as a break for him. Nice. Alright, we can go in on him this time. Alright, that guy's actually not as tanky as it feels like he should be. I say we go ahead and heal, because we have enough SP to make it worthwhile. We'll check out, like, this last area, and then we'll go ahead and save it. $800 just for existing, you'll see it. How's our money looking? We have 8K, so I mean, in theory, we could go back to our original town and pick up that 8K yaks.
Bring it
I
on.
don't necessarily feel a need to do that. Snow Fox, huh? Well, let me use my ice skills on them. Surely it'll work out. Nice to see everything in this area is weak to fire. At least as it so far. Is this fox not just tankier than the last guy we were fighting?
Try again.
Poison feels really good so far in this game with just how tanky these guys are. Like, if it keeps scaling up the way it does, like, poison is just gonna wreck the entire game. Now, whether it's my guys or the enemy. It feels weird to find a game where poison's actually good. Shadow Soulstone. Deals dark damage to all foes. Nice. That's our first instance of dark damage so far. Did it actually show up the map a little bit more as a result? Like, I feel like this area over here, like, cleared up a little more as I went over there. Not entirely sure if that's truly the case or not, but kind of feels like it to me.
Want a tangle, huh? All right.
Maybe we do a 45-minute episode this time. So that way we'll have an hour long, we'll have a 30-minute long, and then we'll have a 45-minute long, and that'll give people, like, a little bit of a mixture of everything. 15, I really cannot see like 15 minutes being the play. At least for this, it feels like it would be like 2 encounters. It'd be like, well, see you guys in the next video, sort of thing. And like, at least for me, it doesn't feel like. Maybe some people would be okay with it, but I don't know. It feels like 30 minimum so far. Feels like the way to go. But as always, let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hit 200 job points. That feels like it should be a key or a milestone for something. Don't mind if I just hit this chest up. So far, we've only had a single chest that I was not able to open. And it said nobody in my party, which would seem to suggest that the thief would be able to do it. I mean, at least of the characters that we've seen so far, a thief would be the one to do it. It's neither here nor there. Alright, we don't know the weaknesses for these guys, presumably fire being one. However, that doesn't exactly leave us with all too much. Presumably ice is not going to happen. We also got rid of all our injury seeds. Purifying, soothing, and yeah, no. We would probably need incinerary. It's probably not the greatest encounter ever for us right now, considering we don't have any way to break shielding like that. What if we just go? Alright, well. I can't say that I'm too surprised by that, so I guess we'll go ahead and just go in then.
What's the big idea?
Oh my.
Here goes nothing.
That's not great. He lowered my physical defense. Like, we have plenty of healing just because we're the apothecary, so, like, I'm not too concerned by that fact. But I would still rather not take that damage if possible. It would have been... Man, that poison skill would have been nice for something like this. The poison skill seems low-key lit, just for the fact that poison works as well as it does in this game. Of course, this is on regular early enemies. Maybe it falls off relatively quickly by the fact that maybe enemies just start to magically incur natural immunity to poison or resistance to it, in which case that would help nerf it, which is why maybe it's stronger to begin with. But we'll see.
Here goes nothing.
I'm taking way too much damage on these guys. I mean, thankfully we have healing like that, so I'm not worried about it.
He can't.
Man, these fights become an absolute just drag when you don't have this game. I'll take the GP and the experience for it, though. Not mad at that in the slightest, and then we just got full healed by the fact that we did get that level up. Northern Flame Grace Wild still only level 1, so we're not too worried about it. Maybe we'll pick up this chest and then call it here for this episode.
Want a tangle, huh? Here goes nothing.
I say they have a lot of health, but then again, I mean, I've got 600 health right here, so it's not exactly like I'm sitting here with like 200 health. Like, these guys have so much health.
Bring it on.
I feel like I should have more SP than I do on the apothecary, but then again, all of our crafting skills does not cost SP, so then I don't really need it like that. So it looks worse than what it is. Okay, so you have ice as well. Can you actually...
Here we go.
Is freeze an actual status effect in this game? Like, we've used ice a lot, and yet we've never frozen anybody. So that would seem to suggest, at least at our current level of ice, no. But if the ice effect actually does exist in this game, that could be relatively strong. The Atlas Dam, or to Flame Grace. Western Flame Grace to the Hunter area. This presumably we head down, and that will lead us to the Cleric, which would not be the worst thing. Although we do have a good amount of healing like that. This Alder could be pretty good, though, because if he's actually able to find out weaknesses for us early on, then having him as like a support partner would not be bad. But we're going to go ahead and call it here for this episode. Just to give us a little in-betweener between the 30, 45, the 30 minute and the hour. See how the 45 treats us. As always, leave your guys' comments down below to see if which one you guys like the best out of the three. And, well, we will continue our story on the next one. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. See ya.